Welcome, everybody. Good to see ya. How's it going, Beth? Hey, Jessica. Welcome, you guys, once again here Tuesday night at the b.hive. We're doing Tuesday's Tales tonight, and we are reading a couple chapters from my book. It looks like your live video may contain music. Oh. Okay. So they thought about blocking my... Okay, I guess I can't play music. All right. Hey, Kevin, how's it going? I get myself in trouble here before the video even starts. Am I still here? Am I still on? Let me know, because they're talking about blocking me or shutting off my live video because I played music in the background. So just hit me up with a comment. Let me know if I'm still on the air or if I should just end this now. So, yes, okay. Thank you very much, Jessica. So anyway, it is Tuesday Tales presents right here. Thank you, Kevin. And we are reading my book, The Ballad of Broken Bird. It's kind of a road story, bit of some romance and stuff like that in there. Basically about a guy who got a bad cancer diagnosis, and his mom died, and he's got about a year to live, little less. And he decided to sell all his stuff. And hey, Chuck, how you doing? Hey, Josie, how are you? Nice to see you again. And basically, he's kind of making his way. He's trying to heal himself, really, from a lot of trauma and some ghosts that he's been chasing. And along the way, he's met some very wise people who have kind of helped him on his way, got him in touch with his heritage. He's a Native American. I made up the tribe that he's from. He's a Weta Indian. And yeah, so he's been learning about some of his culture, his ancestors, and kind of he's kind of on a vision quest on two wheels. And his name's Broken Bird, and he's trying to heal his wings. And on this journey, he's been meeting people that have kind of helped him along the way, and it's kind of helped put some ghosts to rest. So that's really what this story's about. It's there's a lot of me in this story, and it's been helping to heal myself as well. So that's why this story has been so important to me. And it's very important that you guys are here with me to hear the story. And I'm very happy and very honored and grateful for you to be here and to hear the story and joining me every week as I read it. So we do this every Tuesday. On Wednesdays, we were doing Horror Hump Day, and it was all the horror stories I've written. And I've read those published works over and over and over again. And I thought, I should maybe try reading this. And it's the manuscript isn't finished. I haven't been able to finish it yet because there were a few chapters I couldn't write. And reading these chapters to you guys has really helped me get this book out of my head and onto paper, so to speak. So And the feedback has been great. I've been getting a lot of feedback, not so much, well, from you guys as well as other people who don't normally comment on this during the show, and it's been all positive feedback, um, which does my heart some good. So I'm good at giving the bird. Does that help? Aren't we all pretty good at that? I think probably about 4 or 5 years out of my life, all my selfies had me giving the bird. And yeah. So anyway, I try to do a little more of this more instead. Anyhow, yeah. So that's what we're doing. Is we're reading from my book, The Ballad of Broken Bird, hoping to have it published by the end of next year. And so, yes, it's not published yet. So the first time and only time people are going to hear it is right here. One of the things I've run into too with Facebook, because they're so creative friendly, is that I'm only allowed to invite a chunk of my friends list. And so it's kind of cut down on who I can invite. That's why I've been putting a kind of an invite on my profile page so that you can hit the link and come over here for it. Also, they are deleting my content after 30 days. So tonight's broadcast is going to be gone in 30 days. So I do download all of these shows onto YouTube. So if you miss a night or you have to skip out before it finishes, you can go on YouTube and check it out there. My YouTube page is at Bradley Bodeker 70, and you can find it there. And please subscribe to that. Because I guess the more subscribers you have, the more you can do with YouTube. And I've actually thought about maybe doing these live things on YouTube and simulcast on Facebook because yeah, I think you can do more on YouTube. So I kind of miss the days when I've been able to interview people from afar, um, which I did with What's the Buzz at the Hive. And I could reach out to a lot more people and we could do more podcasts and stuff. Hey, Bobby, how you doing? Good to see you, brother. Um, and then they changed the format of that software I was using. It was user friendly before, and then that came down to having to download codes and cut and paste and all that, and I could never get anything working on it. And so I stopped. It was like $15 a month. So yeah, we're just back to doing this. But once I find something, I have been shopping around. Once I find something, if you guys know of a software that works for podcasters and stuff like that, where you can do remote interviews and stuff like that, let me know about it either in the comments here or send me a private message. Anyhow, getting to Broken Bird, I can't believe how far we've gotten on the story. It's really kind of set a fire underneath me to keep editing the pages I've written and to add and subtract anything that I needed to in the chapters, and it's drawn me closer to getting the whole manuscript done. Excuse me. So thank you guys for that. Um, we have made our way from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and we are now in well, we're in San Francisco, and we're traveling down the Big Sur. Uh, Broken Bird has met a woman who has the same expiration date as him. They both have cancer, and they both have decided to just not fight it anymore and just live. And which is kind of where my head was at when I was getting cancer diagnosis. So, what will I read after this? Boy, don't. I have no idea, Jessica. I might go back to reading horror stories. Um, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll get to that when it gets there. Thank you, Bobby, for the stars. Um, if you're wondering what stars are they're a penny a piece, and if you send stars, then that goes into an account for me, and then once it gets over $5, then I'm allowed to cash it out or whatever. Um, I've used some of the stars I've gotten to buy this studio stuff that I'm using now, which Bobby and I have kind of worked the bugs out. I couldn't figure out why there was always static on here, and it was my cell phone that well, it's not doing it now, of course, but is giving a lot of static. So thank you very much for the stars, Bobby. Appreciate that. Thank you guys who have given in the past. Definitely not a requirement, but every penny is appreciated. So I think we got a good crew here. It's about 10 after 8, and I think it's about time we should get started with the story. We're on chapter 23 and chapter 24, and Victoria and Broken Bird are on their way to Los Angeles. And please bear with me on this. I'm not very good at making writing love stories. And I don't even know if it's that, but I've tried writing love songs when I've written music, and I holy cow. Well, thanks, Bobby. Holy cow. Um they're it's hard not to sound sappy, and it's hard not to be cliche when you write that stuff. So please bear with me. Please give me some feedback and let me know what you think, if the emotions and the banter back and forth sound believable. So yeah. So any type of feedback is very much appreciated, including the stars. And thank you very much, Bobby. You totally did not have to do that, but that's awesome. I very much appreciate that, my friend. Let's out. Do do do. Oh yes, and if I don't reply, if you comment on here, if I don't reply, I apologize. I've only got one screen that I'm working with, so I can't see you guys when you comment during my reading. But in between chapters, I do check back, see what you guys are up to. When the cat's away. The Ballad of Broken Bird, Chapter 23. So it was off to L.A. by way of the Pacific Coast Highway. Seamus and Robin had thought it a novel idea that Victoria and I drive together, as it gave them time to do married couple things. We would each take our time getting down there. It was a 6 hour straight through drive, and meet up in a couple of days at Venice Beach for our Jim Morrison pilgrimage. Victoria had taken an extra change of clothes and her toiletries, and thankfully I packed light, and we were able to fit her things in a saddlebag. We bought a helmet at a local Honda dealership, and we were ready to ride. It had been a long time since I had a woman on the back of Lucy. I mean, sure, I had Josie on the back, but she was my friend. Victoria was something different. It took us a few miles to get in sync with one another, getting her to lean with me and not against me. I'll have to admit that it was nice to have her arms wrapped around me, and her head occasionally rested on my back. It was so different having the Pacific breeze blowing against our faces, that salty tang in the air, and the smell of the redwoods. Large gashes into the cliff sides to fit these black top paths that we rode on. The Central California beaches were deep below the other side of the cliffs. It reminded me of the cliffs in Oregon, and for some reason, that memory didn't sting as much as it did the previous years. Our first stop was in Carmel. There was a quaint little coffee/gift shop that awaited the tourist dollar, and I thought it would be nice to stop before we conquered any more curves through the Big Sur. Victoria ran to the edge of a cliff that looked down onto the turbulent, crashing waves below. It's so beautiful, she said, maybe to herself, perhaps to me. I walked over to her and fell in love with the dimples that appeared next to her smiling lips. Should we take a dip? I asked. Oh my God. I thought we were going to take a dip on some of them corners we took. I apologize. I'll take 'em a little slower. You will do no such thing. Part of the excitement of living is knowing we could die at any moment. I'd never really looked at life that way, nor had I looked at death that way. The smell of freshly brewed coffee was calling my name. I imagined a cartoon like tendril of smoke slithering from the window of the shop and wriggled up my nostrils to drag me inside. The coffee smells great, I said. Can I buy you a cup? She grabbed my wrist and pulled me closer to her. Stay with me for a minute, please, she said. I want to experience this moment with someone. I leaned on the railing in front of us and close to her, and she placed her hand in mine, interlacing our fingers. We just sat there quietly listening to the crash of the waves below on the black rocks that jutted up from the sandy ground. Part of me listened for the voice of my mother. Seagulls called to one another, ever vigilant for the careless crumb of food to drop from a tourist. Fog blanketed the ocean about a mile out and draped itself to the south of us, hiding the cliffs that stood stoically on the road ahead of us. It's so lush and alive here, don't you think? She asked. It is. It's very beautiful. It's like standing in front of a live painting. She made a soft, quick hum and then leaned over and gave me a peck on the cheek. Her dark red lipstick left its mark in the stubble of my face. Well, that's going to piss off my wife, I joked. Her eyebrows went up. Wait, you're married? I'm kidding. God, no. I'm divorced. She swatted me on the arm. Jerk. Sorry. Thank you, she said with a smile. For what? For sharing that moment with me. Now let's go get that coffee. We ordered two Americanos and splashed a little sweet cream in them, and then sat out on the patio that overlooked the ocean. So tell me, she asked, taking her first slow sip from the cup, how long were you married? 10 years, I said, as I burnt my tongue on my first sip. We worked together. It was a friendship that turned into something more. We probably should have stayed friends. We were we were a horrible couple. But I fell in love with her two girls and it seemed like the right thing to do. That's a common occurrence. You think so? I do. Couple makes love, kids happen, and then they stay together to raise a family, even if they hate each other. I guess. Unfortunately, we dragged our kids through all that. Kids are resilient. They still love you, right? I watched the large, foamy waves hit the black, crusted rocks below. I don't know. I'm guessing no. I've been estranged from them for a while. She was quiet for a moment, like she was playing those words around in her head, and then she smiled at me. You can't always judge someone's answers by your own, she said kindly. And while I digested that comment, she said, So, have you ever read The Big Sur? I got quiet. I did read it. It was probably one of the saddest books I've read next to When a Monster Calls. Jack Kerouac's mental health was declining during that time. He was drinking a lot more than usual and was depressed. His friend, Lawrence Ferlinghetti, suggested he take some time at a secluded cabin on the Big Sur and get some respite. Well, it didn't work, and it drove him more insane than he was already. Yeah, I said solemnly. It's a sad book. I can read your face like a book, she said, putting her hand in mine. Oh? Yeah, that story makes you very sad. The sun is shining in your face, but it looks so dark and shadowy. I, yeah, I tried to kill myself after reading that book. She stood up from her bench and then sat next to me and put her arm around my shoulders. Being empathetic sometimes has its gifts, but it also comes with a heavy price, she said softly. I was in a bad place back then. I was lonely. I guess I should be in a bad place now because there's nothing lonelier than dying alone. But are you in a bad place now? Like right now? This very second? No, I said after some really deep thinking. No, I guess I'm not. We all have bad moments, desperate, lonely moments. It's when I feel the most alive. Really? When I found out that I had cancer, it crippled me emotionally. I was a healthy, active person, you understand. I taught 2 yoga classes a night. I took care of my aging mother. I raised 2 wonderful girls. I was always taking care of someone. I was never taken care of. You understand? Yeah. I never wanted anyone to have to care for me. I didn't want to be a burden on anyone. But here I am. I had aggressive chemo that damn near killed me. I lost so much weight that a light breeze would blow me from Jersey to Kansas. I couldn't eat. I could barely bathe myself. But you look great now. I got better. But when the cancer came back, I was done fighting. I didn't want to be in that position again. So I decided to start living as much as I can. So I feel fortunate to be able to be alive today and still feel those deep cuts, those moments when I have to cry uncontrollably. It means I'm still alive. I'm guessing you did the same as me. Quitting treatment? Yeah. Yeah, I did. I was tired of fighting. The last time I beat. Whoops, wrong person. Yeah, I did. I was tired of fighting. The last time I beat cancer, a woman I thought was the one, she left me when I was back on my feet. And then my grandmother died. And a month later, my mother. Even my dog died within the next few months. I was a pickup truck short of a country song. When I made my decision, my 2 girls were very angry with me. They live in Florida, somewhere near Boca. I drove down there, made my peace with them, spoiled my grandbabies, and then said goodbye. She smiled and then squeezed me hard. We're still alive, she whispered. We are, I whispered back. So let's live while we can, okay? We finished our coffees and suited up for the road. It was getting cool out, and she had zero body fat and a long sleeve shirt. I gave her my leather jacket, which engulfed her, but she looked great in it. I put on my gray hoodie and gloves, and we hopped on Lucy. It wasn't too long before we reached the Bixby Creek Bridge. a long cement open spandrel arch bridge. It's probably one of the most photographed bridges in California, even more so than the Golden Gate. We pulled off onto Castle Rock Viewpoint and got off. Oh, Victoria gasped. How beautiful! What amazing architecture! It was built in the 1930s, I said. Is it safe? Sure. I mean, I'm sure it is. I don't know. I'm just an Indian kid from Minnesota. I can't wait to drive across it. And guess why this bridge is important? Did some movie star jump to the death here? Ooh, close, but no cigar. Do you remember in the book The Big Sur when Ferlinghetti invites Kerouac to stay at his rustic cabin to get his head straight? Well, sure. He ended up going mad instead. Well, that very cabin was right down there. I pointed to an area that was beyond the bridge and into the wooded area. Can can we go see it? She asked, those green eyes filled with excitement. I don't even know how to get down there or even if the cabin is still there. Well, can we try? I thought about what she said about living, especially living in the moment. Sure, I said. We walked to the bridge and then scanned the area for footpaths. They all seemed to end at the steep cliff, which hosted jagged rocks, both oceanside and creekside. On the other side of the bridge, we could see the roofs of some cabins, which egged on our investigation. There are all these paths, I said, but they all end in steep drops to the beach or to the creek. There's a dirt road over there, she said, pointing at a rustic road that looked partially washed out. It looks a little treacherous for the bike. Then let's hoof it. I thought about my lung capacity and how a short hike can sometimes leave me breathless and wheezing. I don't know, I said. It'll be okay, she said, and took my hand. We'll take breaks when we need to. You think my bike will be okay? I'm sure it will. Okay, let's do this. We walked and partially slid down the steep gravelly road that curved around into the thick woods. Pines as tall as buildings seemed to swallow the daylight. We went hand in hand, laughing childishly as we descended. As the road leveled out, we walked another 1,000 feet, and I needed to stop to catch my breath. Are you okay? She asked, putting her hand on my back. I was coughing. It was a dry, gritty cough, somewhere deep within the lungs that I had left. A soft whistle hissed in my breath. Relax, she said, and rubbed my back. My heart thudded in my chest, and sweat had broke out on my face. Oh, I'll be okay, I lied. Whenever I would get like this, a strong urge to piss would sneak up on me. I stood up straight and wandered into the edge of the woods before I pissed myself. Gotta pee, I wheezed. I finished my business and walked back over onto the gravel. Victoria stood there with some concern on her face. I gave her a light smile to let her know I was feeling okay. The road came to a dead end, and there was a walking trail that followed the direction of Bixby Creek towards the ocean. Have you got this? She asked. Yeah, I said. You? Won't know till we try. I didn't think we were going to find Ferlinghetti's rustic cabin. It had been long years since the book, and if it was rustic, then I can't imagine what it looks like now. I just wanted to sit on the same beach that Jack and all those amazing creatives sat on, the beach where Jack sat and went mad and began his downward spiral. But that didn't happen. We were getting closer to the ocean when we heard the snap of branches. That sound only stopped us. It was the unmistakable sound of a 12 gauge sliding a shell into its chamber that literally froze us as we spun around to the source. Either you take one more step, a man said, and I'll put a hole in you. He was a couple of years younger than us, dressed in khaki shorts and a plaid short sleeve button up shirt. A straw fedora sat on top of his doughy head. He had black rimmed glasses resting on his sweaty, stubbled face. We don't want any trouble, I said. We were just, I don't give an ass clinging shit what you would think you were doing, he said, walking towards us. I'm telling you to stop. Victoria had closed her eyes and squeezed him tight. She was biting her lower lip. Both our hands were above our heads. Tired of you motherfuckers coming down here, he said loudly. There's signs posted all over this area saying no trespassing, but you fuckers come out here anyways. Sign, sign, everywhere, sign, I started to sing. Victoria bit back a laugh. You think that's fucking funny? He barked. He was behind us now and had the single barrel pointed at the back of my head. I just thought Californians were supposed to be friendly, I said. He poked the barrel into the nape of my neck. Well, enough of your shit, he said. This is my land, and I've got every right to shoot you and your fucking bitch right there, right now. Part of me wanted to sing the Woody Guthrie song, but the other part of me, the angry don't give a flying fuck part of me, wanted to lay him out. The guy was getting serious now, and I did not think his mental status was healthy. Take it easy, man, I said, trying to calm him down. We can go back the way we came without the whole shotgun issue, okay? I turned to look at him in the eyes. He turned the barrel at my face. He was sweating profusely now, and I could tell in his eyes that he didn't want to shoot us. He just wanted to scare us. My good friend Rage was making its way out of my back pocket. Dude, I took a deep breath. We just wanted to walk on the beach. We didn't want to disturb anyone. So just relax, okay? And we'll get out of your hair. No harm, no foul. Well, look at you begging like a little pussy, he said with a slight smile on his sweaty red face. You're not such a smart ass now, are you? I was tired of this game. I grabbed the barrel and I put it on my forehead. His finger wriggled its way off the trigger, and I grabbed that hand to keep it there. And he went from red to pale. Victoria cried out and covered her face. If you're gonna fucking shoot me, I said through grit teeth, then you fucking shoot me. Let go of my, he whimpered. Her and I got an expiration date anyways, so we no longer have any fucks to give. So stop swinging this shitholin' thing around like a dick and fucking shoot me. I put the barrel into my mouth. He tried to pull the gun away, and I gripped it with both hands. Do it, I said. I jerked the gun out of his hands and cycled all the shells he had onto the ground. He had fallen back and began to whimper. You're fucking lucky today, my friend, I said, still gritting my teeth. I threw the gun on the ground at him and grabbed Victoria's hand and led her back to the way we came. Neither of us said a word on the way back to the bike. I was so angry that I hadn't realized how short of breath I was until we stopped. The steep incline was hell on my lungs, and they felt like they were on fire. I coughed several times until I nearly puked. I spit out some congealed blood on the ground as I tried to get my breath back. I brought out my rescue inhaler and shook it. I hated how vulnerable that thing made me look, but it was either puff this or die. Victoria reached into one of the saddlebags and brought out a bottle of water and handed it to me. I looked into her worried eyes and then took a deep gulp. She cautiously ran her hand against my sweaty back. Eventually, after that inhalant opened up my bronchioles, I was able to breathe again. Better? She asked softly. I nodded. Finish that bottle, please, and then come with me. I gulped the last of it, 3 deep swallows, and she took my hand and led me to a bench that sat near the edge of the cliff. The fog had lifted off the ocean, and we could see the blue to the horizon. So what was that back there? She asked. I looked over at her. The breeze blew her blonde hair to the side. Her face was harsh, and it certainly wasn't judgmental. It was soft and kind, with deep concern. I don't know, I said. I never had a gun pointed at my head before. It was something deeper than that, though. What do you mean? Well, most people would just shit their pants, which is what I think that guy wanted to see. But you, it was almost like it was scripted. Like, I, I don't know. One moment you're a diplomat, and within seconds you're this intense suicidal maniac. He wasn't going to pull the trigger. And you knew that? Yeah. How? I could read it in his face. You're full of shit. Possibly. But I really thought there was a 90% chance he was just trying to be Billy Badass and scare us, not shoot us. 90%. Yep. 90%? Give or take. You're an ass. She smiled coyly at me and then hugged me. Seriously, though, she released me. There's this other side to you. He's kind of scary. I'm sorry, I said. I keep that guy around in case of emergencies. I appreciate you getting us out of that. I really do. I just hope you can release that side of yourself before you go. You know how short this life is. I hate to think you still have that hanging on you when you check out. That's what keeps my wings broken. Out of nowhere, tears began to fall down my cheek. I wasn't sobbing. They were just flowing endlessly. I, I don't know how to heal them, I said. These fucking wings. This trip was supposed to be a bucket list thing. See America, chase the ghost of Kerouac. But I seem to be chasing my own ghost. Some think I'm running away from my own mortality. Maybe I'm doing both, I don't know. Kiss me, she said, staring into my watery red eyes. What? Kiss me. I I can't. I don't want to ruin your last days here. This is my shit. You should be out living it up like you want to, not hanging out with me and my broken wing. She grabbed my face. and those soft, full lips attached themselves to mine. Her arms entwined around my neck, and her slender fingers weaved their way through my graying black hair. I kissed back, and then we were two spirits sharing one another. Her lips released me, and she smiled. We're still alive. We are, I said, and smiled back. Can I be a little honest with you? Okay, but only a little. Well, praise bejesus Cripes and his 12 buddies. That turned me on. The kiss? Well, of course, the kiss, but I was mainly talking about the whole Lethal Weapon episode down there in the valley a few moments ago. Holy Moses. Now that was intense, edgy as seat exhilaration. I laughed my ass off. You're fucking crazy, I said. And you're amazing. She kissed me again. Come on. She ran to the bike. Let's hit those curves again. Lucy roared to life, and part of me did that day as well. It was like the night in the cave in Idaho. We crossed the long expanse of the bridge, and we hit the curves south as my bike's motor rattled. How's everybody doing? You guys all holding up here? Just look into my eyes. You always get romantic when you look into my eyes. That's only when I'm singing to you, Bobby. That's only when I'm singing to you. How's everybody enjoying the ride so far along the Big Sur? Nobody's jumped off, hopefully. All right. Let's jump into let's jump into chapter 24. The Ballad of Broken Bird, chapter 24. I didn't know what this was. That kiss was. I I, I don't know. I thought the steel toes of my boots were going to blow out. I don't know what it meant. Now, what? Are we dating now? Was that just a spur of the moment thing? There was a lot of adrenaline involved in the last couple of days, and especially the whole shotgun incident. Maybe that was it. Just a spur of the moment thing. Don't ask questions, just flow with it. For those were the thoughts that were racing through my head as we maneuvered the asphalt curves of the California State Highway 1. It's tough to talk when the wind is hitting you in the face, so you're left alone with your thoughts. Hungry! She shouted into my ear. I nodded and we came to a place called Nepenthe. It looked like a bar and grill that sat right on the cliff overlooking the Pacific. We parked and stretched off the last 50 miles. She took off her helmet, ran her fingers through her hair to shake out the helmet head she was sporting. I thought about how much I wanted to kiss those lips again. She smiled and took my hand, and we walked into the front door. There was a small bar in a semicircle to the right, and booths along the panoramic windows. There was a large deck surrounding the bar with a few tiers. A fireplace crackled in the middle of the bar, and there was one out on the deck. Do you want a patio seat? The hostess asked. Can we have a table by the fire pit outside? Victoria asked. Of course. To be honest, the fresh air had made me tired inside. So I was relieved she wanted to go back out. The fresh air actually woke me up. You look tired, she said. I'm getting there, I said. That fireplace might put me to sleep. Should we move? No, this is fine. But we should look at lodging soon. I ordered a Jack and Coke, and she had a vodka cranberry. What's going through that head of yours? She asked with a little smile. Nothing, I lied. Don't tell me that. We agreed we're going to live, correct? Yeah. That means we live in honesty. Our lives are too short to bullshit one another. Now talk to me. It was that kiss. What about it? You don't like the way I kiss? uh, I laughed. No, it's not that at all. You kiss, damn, you kiss fine. I'm just wondering what what it means? Yeah. Well, what do you want it to mean? Well, that was unfair. She had me in a spot and she was going to make me squirm. Well, I'd like to think that it means something. We haven't known each other that long, honey. Do I feel something for you? Yes. Yes, of course I do. You're a wonderful man. I think you and I would have been great had we met back in the day. But this sounds like a bad but. So excuse me while I hold my breath a sec. She clasped my hands. Hey, hey, we're two people who have an expiration date nearby. To be honest, I feel like mine's coming pretty soon. Not tomorrow, but soon. So let's not tie up the last months, weeks, days, hours, minutes, seconds of our lives with all that complicated shit that comes with relationships, okay? Okay. I tried to pull my hands back. I'm glad I got to meet you, she said, gripping my hands tighter. I'm glad I didn't check out of this Roach Motel without having you in my short little life. I'm happy about that too, Victoria. She pulled my hands up to her lips and kissed them. Speaking of hotels, I said, perhaps we better find some info on nearby ones. I'll handle that, she said. You order us some food. I'll eat whatever you eat. She walked off to chat with the bartender, and I ordered us both steak, fries, and scallops. I was on my second drink when she came back. She had a jovial smile on those full lips and had a daiquiri in her hand. So, I asked, where are we staying? Well, we've got a choice, she said, sitting down next to me. Ooh, I like choices. I thought you might. So, according to Gil, the bartender, there's a place with hot springs, herbal gardens, meditation spots, and workshops. Uh, workshops? Well, they hold these new age classes, seminars there, like existentialism and whatnot. Even Aldous Huxley taught there a long time ago. That's uh that's a little synchronous with our Jim Morrison pilgrimage. Well, that's what I thought too. And the hot spring pools would do wonders for us. But, well, old Gil said they're a little culty there and a lot expensive. Uh, how expensive? 750 bones a night. But that includes tuition to one of their classes. Next. She laughed a bit. Okay, so the next place that has a hot spring pool and is way cheaper is Avila Hot Springs. There's cabins, tent camping, and RV parking. But it's a little further down the road, about 2 hours. Hmm, cult camping or driving another 2 hours. Yeah, that's about it. I guess I better switch from Jack Daniels to Folgers. We finished our meal and a few coffees and headed back on the road. By the time we made it to Avila Hot Springs, I was ready for a soak. I checked in and we rented a rustic spot. I had a hammock tent that slept two very cozy. The hot spring steam slithered between the evergreen trees and permeated the air with a metallic scent mixed with sulfur. It was cleansing, and I thought maybe a soak would not only help the road wear I was feeling, but also help my lungs that were beginning to ache again. We set up the hammock tent and laid the sleeping bag open and placed a blanket on top. Victoria puffed up our pillows and gave me a smile. Looks inviting, yes? She asked. Very, I said. The foliage was dense enough to change into our swimsuits. She slipped out of her clothes like a snake molting its skin. Her body was a creamy white statue of curves and womanhood. I was reluctant to shed my own clothes, knowing I was out of shape and a little beat up. She walked over to me, looking deep into my eyes. She grabbed at my belt and I inhaled. She kissed my lips gently, and before I knew it, my drawers had dropped. She helped me with my jacket and shirt and looked down and saw that I was excited. Nice, she smiled, and then threw my trunks at me. Again, I didn't know how to take any of that. I tried not to put a label on it. I just laughed to myself and slipped my trunks on. Ready? I asked. Are you? She asked. Nothing worse than answering a question with a question. But here we were. I reached out my hand and escorted her to the hot pools. We soaked in the minerals as well as the cool night sky. There was a turbulence between temperatures and our own hearts. I held her in my arms as she laid curled up on my lap. We said nothing for a long time. We just soaked up the healing waters on our tired, dying bodies. Where do you think we go when we die? She asked. What do you mean? She had caught me off guard. Like heaven and hell stuff? Yeah, she laughed. Heaven and hell stuff. Oh, what I was taught and what I believe are two different things. Okay, begin with what you were taught. Well, my father was Catholic, so I was taught that when we die, we either are rewarded for good behavior and go to heaven or punished for our transgressions in hell. If we rode the fence, then we sat in purgatory and we waited around for people that were left alive to petition the Almighty for our release into the heavenly gates. My mother, on the other hand, believed that we returned to our ancestors, that we joined with our departed loved ones and lived on with them for an eternity. In which do you believe? Uh, I think they're both wrong. I think we just die, boom, and blink out of existence. That everything we did on this side holds no bearing on what happens on the flip side. Well, that's pretty morbid. Well, this discussion is kind of morbid. I felt her giggle quietly to herself. What about our souls? She asked. What happens to them? I don't know if I can subscribe to the idea of souls. I think we're just meat puppets. We go on instinct. I mean, yes, we have rational brains for the most part, but we're basically puppets that are a little higher functioning than the other species we share the planet with. Now, we could all be wrong. We could pass away our mortal coil and fall screaming into some black abyss or into the maw of some hungry god. Jesus, she gasped. Or Jesus, I said. So she turned to look me in the eyes. If you don't believe in souls, how do you explain love? What do you mean? Love. You know, that exhilarating feeling you get when you meet that someone that makes your stomach tickle and it's hard to breathe when you're around them. If we don't have souls, then how do we have the capacity to love? Jean popped into my mind. For a brief second, despite the fact that this beautiful stranger was wrapped around me under a curtain of stars while we sit half submerged in bubbling mineral water, I thought of Jean. Part of my heart began to ache. Love is irrelevant, I said. Every species has a drive to procreate. Because we are of a higher mindset, our bodies create a dopamine to give us those exhilarated feelings, and we call that chemical reaction love. Do you think you could love me? She asked. Oh, I could love you hard, every ounce of my being, but your chemicals are programmed to die now, not procreate. I guess. When I die, I want to be in Arizona. Why there? It's where Kai's spirit waits for me. And Kai is my soulmate I spoke of earlier. He was buried in a sacred spot near Superior, Arizona. He fought the mining companies from defiling that land. It's filled with all kinds of natural medicines. Fair enough, I thought. If I was allowed to think about Jean, she's allowed, of course, to think about her Kai. You remind me of him a lot, she said, looking at me again. Kind eyes and a gentle soul. I smiled. Well, if I'm around when your time comes, then I promise I'll take you there. You mean it? Yes. Why? Because I'd want someone to do that for me. Oh, I thought it was because maybe you love me or something. That maybe your chemicals were telling you something. She smiled wide. Well, maybe my chemicals are, I said, smiling back. Then maybe you should do something about it. Oh, yeah? Yeah. We kissed each other hungrily, making our way out of the pool and over to our campsite. The steam rolled off our bodies, and we laid down into my tent and made love as our ancestors watched from above. And that, my friends, that is the that's the end of that chapter. Boom. So good evening, everybody. I hope you enjoyed those two chapters there. Um yeah, that's the extent of me being able to write a love scene. I don't know, tell me what you guys think of that one. Was it believable? Is it corny? What do you think? Do I need to add something? Leave it? What? I don't know. I don't know because I feel like I'm really bad at writing that stuff. So I'm better at writing sadness and horror. So this whole book has been a challenge for me to write. So, but anyway, um, be sure to join Icky Girls Right, Kevin? You know it. Icky girls tend to get us in trouble, don't they? So, yeah, there's a lot of truth behind that. Oh well, thank you, Josie. I'm glad. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Well, thanks, Jessica. Thank you very much for that. So yeah, okay. Well, I'll just keep on the vibe that I'm on then as I keep writing. So be sure to join me next week. Next Tuesday we'll do chapter 20, 25, and 26. Um I have already jumped into those and edited them, but I will probably look at it again and say, "Oh, I should probably do this and do that." I could have gone without the boner reference, but it was great. Oh, you're welcome for that, brother. That's funny. Yeah, probably could have. Probably very well could have gone without that. But this isn't a family show. Hey Chuck, you have a good night too, man. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to come back on Thursday because we're having the Beehive Productions 2025 Christmas special. And I know right now Bobby's probably standing up, screaming and shouting with both hands in the air, going, "Yeah!" So, yeah, we'll be doing the Christmas special on Thursday. So, I'm actually excited about it too. So, I hope you guys join us. I know Kevin's probably excited. He probably went, "Yeah," because that's how Kevin gets excited. But anyway, yeah. So we've got, I believe Lindsay is going to come and play along. She's been learning some Christmas songs, Bobby. So yeah, and yep, Pimo I think said he might come down too and sing with us or something. So I got a song, I got a playlist put together. I should probably share that with you, huh, Bobby? Maybe? I don't know. Are you going to be there or are you going to be at some Lions meeting or something or saving some kid's life or out on the road picking up a. Thanks, Chuck. I hope to see you there Thursday. Anyway, just giving you shit, Bobby. I know you'll be there. It's Christmas, right? He will have his jingle bells on. I'm sure he will. I hope you cover those up, by the way, because it's going to be a family show for the most part, or about as family as I can get. So yes, please show up for that. There will be. I don't think there'll be no. There will be no coffee with friends for some reason on Sunday. I don't know why, but I know there won't be until after the new year. So yeah, there's that. Bobby will be there Thursday. All right. So and then on Tuesday we'll be picking up with chapter 25 and 26. So appreciate you guys, Bobby. Appreciate the stars, my brother. Thank you very much. You're very giving, and you're just a really great friend. And I'm very honored, very lucky to have you as lucky to have all of you guys as my friends. Um, I couldn't ask for a better bunch of people. So who would have thought here in Winthrop, Minnesota, right? Anyhow, um, I will see you guys Thursday night. We'll be wearing a little Santa hat probably, and Bobby will have to bring the Elvis glasses because I think I had the Elvis glasses last year, didn't I? I don't know. I'll have to look at that video again and see what we did. So anyhow, thank you guys. I've already took you past an hour, and I know some of you guys are tired. So peace and a bottle of hair grease. I love you all for coming out here. I love you all for being my friends. For those of you that don't comment on here, thank you very much for coming out and watching. Those of you watching this on YouTube, thank you very much. Please like and subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It just means, hey, I got people that like my stuff, like my content, and YouTube goes, hey, maybe we should let Brad do this on here and let him do this on here and blah blah blah. It's like unlocking a level in a video game, basically, with the subscribers I get. And thank you guys for liking this page. We've grown to 650 something now. So that's amazing. I can't even remember what I started with on this page. So appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Like this one and share it, please, with your friends if you'd enjoyed it, which I hope you did. Looks like somebody did. So that's good. Anyhow, have a great night. Love y'all. Mwah. And didn't forget you, Kevin. I did not forgive you. Forget you. Forgive. Freudian slip, I think. Thank you for sharing your talents with us. No talents. I just like to hear myself talk, buddy. That's all it is. That's all it is. All right. Love y'all. Bye bye.